exciting day here. I am on cloud nine. The new chapter of Boston College basketball I think, has already started. And so I'm going to just get started. This is obviously a unique way. I've been through this before. But I'll get through a couple things. I'll let Coach talk, and then we'll answer questions. First and foremost, I want to thank Father Leahy for his counsel and support through this process. Father is an incredible leader, and he is a wonderful outlet for myself and for many of us. I want to thank Father Jack, David Trainer, Andy Boynton, Bob Murphy, JM, Reggie, my staff, and really the entire staff here worked tirelessly with us to get from when we started this process till now. So I really am thankful for that. And most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Betsy, my two little kids, Annie and Joseph, for their love and patience through the last few weeks with me. I think that is, they are my rock. When we set out to find our next leader for this basketball program, we had a couple traits and characteristics that we really wanted to hone in on. We wanted someone with a dynamic and charismatic personality that would be able to engage the student body, the alums, and really all Boston College fans. We wanted someone who understood both the New England and the ACC recruiting footprint. We want to bring someone who had experience in rebuilding programs and doing it the right way. We wanted someone who was an elite recruiter and an elite evaluator. I don't think enough people talk about the evaluation of basketball players and athletes in general. We wanted someone who saw what we all see, the unlimited potential that's in front of us, but the great opportunity that is set in front of us and how this is going to go, and we're very confident about the future. We want a person that shared our values, someone who cares for student athletes' well-being both on and off the court. We wanted energy, I wanted toughness, and someone who isn't scared to go toe-to-toe with the best in the country. I personally was looking for a partner. I wanted someone to help rebuild a storied program, one that can consistently compete in the ACC, but also compete nationally and on the national landscape. I wanted someone with integrity, passion, and wasn't going to take shortcuts. This is a process. And I'm so excited to know that we found that in Coach Grant. He's helped rebuild programs through evaluating and recruiting talent. He understands the ACC and what it takes to win and what it looks like to win at a high level. He can develop talent. He's had 2 NBA draft picks the last 2 years. He was a finalist, I think most impressively, for the Skip Prosser Man of the Year Award, which recognizes those who have success on the court, but also carry themselves with integrity off the court. He's a great leader. He makes no excuses and doesn't flinch. He's built a consistent winner. They won the regular season conference championship. He's won the conference championship, tournament championship, and he brought a team to the NCAA tournament that hadn't been in a long time, that experienced a drought and rebuilt it. Earl's a great father, a great husband, a great man, a man of integrity and high character. He's a competitor, and honestly, for me, he's tough as nails. That's what I love about him. He's special, and I am so extremely proud to have him as our basketball coach. So with that, I want to welcome, they're over here in the corner, you can't see them, Jackie, Trey, Isaiah, Zoe. Welcome to the Heights. It's a special place. We're going to do everything we can to support you. But it's my great privilege to welcome Coach Earl Grant.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Really appreciate those remarks. Obviously, a big part of me wanting to be a part of this program, it had a lot to do with, Pat Kraft's vision and his enthusiasm and energy in our first conversation when the process started. So I'm very humble, very thankful to be in this position. This is a tremendous opportunity for me and my family to grow a program, to be a part of a community that's special, and to be at an institution that shares the values that me and my family share. Understanding that, it's not about me. It's going to be about these former players. It's going to be about this athletic department. It's going to be about this community. And I think this program, the alignment of our values are very, very similar. So I'm very thankful for that. I want to thank a few people because throughout the process, when I first started, talking to Pat and getting ready to get involved with this job, there were a lot of people I met along the way, and I want to make sure that I mention their names because having the opportunity to spend time with them and listen to their values and who they were as men and their excitement for this program, had a lot to do with me being fired up. And so I want to talk about a few of those guys. J.M. Campora, who's in the athletic department, as well as Reggie Terry, both are in the athletic department. Both of those guys did a great job and a tremendous job in the interview process of just making me feel like this is a place where there's a lot of energy and a lot of synergy throughout the athletic department. That was very important to me. On campus, we had Father Jack as well as Dave Trainer. Both of those men, unbelievable fathers, guys that have spent time trying to build this program at a high level. It made an impression on me when I had a chance to speak with them as well. And I would say Father Leahy, the leader of this institution, just, in our conversation for the first 2 hours, we had a chance to talk 2.5 hours on Sunday, and we talked the first hour about family and faith. And for me, that meant a lot to have the leader of a program for 25 years, looking for his next basketball coach, and he was willing to talk about family and faith. So that was very critical for me. So I'm very excited about this opportunity. Andy Boynton and Bob Murphy, two other gentlemen on campus, I had a chance to meet with them, and I just wanted to mention that all of these gentlemen in the conversations I had just really impressed me with their character. So that was the first and foremost thing that got me fired up. My wife and kids are here. It's a different setting. Obviously, you can't see them, and I can't get a round of applause for them. But my wife, Jackie, we've been married for 16 years, and she's been the rock of our family. So supportive in all of my moves in this profession, and I couldn't do it without her. And I got 3 sons that I'm very excited that they'll have a chance to return to the ACC. We were at Clemson for 4 years. We really enjoyed that experience. Having a first-class athletic department with football. Football means a lot at any institution, and I look forward to latching on to their program. But having my sons here in Boston, I think it'll be a great opportunity for their growth. The current players, I want to say something about the current players. I followed BC pretty strongly this year, especially in the last part of the season. And I think the current players, I just want to give them some encouragement that, anything is possible here at BC. And they don't need to kill their dreams. They need to keep their dreams alive. I know it was a very challenging year this season, but I'm very anxious to meet them and spend time with them and help them grow as a player and as a person. So I look forward to meeting them this afternoon and spending some time with the current players and trying to help them become the men and the player that they want to be. What excited me the most about BC, there was several different things that excited me the most. And at the time when I got the call from Pat, I really wasn't looking to move anywhere. I was excited about building what we were doing at the College of Charleston. I wasn't looking to move. But the thing that excited me the most is the opportunity to build something special. And if you look at the history of this program and the DNA, if you really do your research of this program and see where this program is, part of the reason you study history is it's the best indication of what will happen in the future. And so some of the teams that we've had and some of the players that we've had walk on this campus and in the Conte Forum, all the energy and the excitement and the grit that they displayed in the years of success with different coaches, I want to build upon that. And I know if it happened before, we can do it again. I think it starts with attracting the right individuals to come to this campus. The type of coaching staff that I'm able to put together and the type of players that I'm able to attract and recruit to this campus, I think is going to be critical. But it starts with your staff and it starts with your players. It's all about the people. So I'm excited and anxious to get started building my staff as well as, developing the players that I have. I think they are very important. The players that I have on this roster are very important, as well as, going out and recruiting and evaluating guys who would be excited to be in one of the best cities in the world, play in the best conference in the world, and to be at a place that's hungry for success. I think we got to be gritty and not pretty. I think this is a gritty, chip on the shoulder type of place. This is a fighter's job. This is a place for a fighter to come play. And I'm excited to go out and evaluate and find some of those guys to help us move this program in the right direction. Last but not least, I want to say for the donors and the alumni and the former players and the student body, everybody that's connected to this program, this is your program. Okay, I'm here to usher you to success and try to find a way to get this program back to its rightful place. But this is your program, so I look forward to meeting all of you. I look forward to having a chance to build relationships with all of you. And I also look forward to inspiring you with the type of individuals we bring into this program as student athletes. So I'm excited. I look forward to getting to know some of the media. I think this is a great opportunity. Some of the things that Pat and Father Leahy had demonstrated to me, as well as JM, about the facilities that are brewing. Some of the things we're going to do here in the future is very exciting. And I think this era of basketball, we got an opportunity to do something special. So I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to answering any questions. Thank you. I understand. Well, the number one thing I would say is going to be a passionate group. It's going to be a unbelievable competitive spirit. I think those things are the most important. But we want to defend. We want to defend and rebound, number one. You got to defend, rebound, and take care of the ball, number one. So if you can't defend, rebound, and take care of the ball, most times you don't have a chance. So we want to guard you in the half court, man to man. We want to guard you full court, man to man. We want to change defenses some. We want to get after it so we can create some opportunities to run and attack in the open court. So first and foremost, we got to develop a mentality of guys that want to defend and rebound and share the responsibility on offense, be very unselfish, but show a great competitive spirit. Good. How you doing? Well, I followed the program ever since I left, Clemson. I mean, I played at the Conti Forum multiple times. I was in the ACC, so I follow all ACC basketball. So I should have said, because I seen them on TV playing some ACC games, I was able to watch their team play. So I just follow the ACC in general. For 21 years in this profession, I worked hard to try to get back to this level. And so I'm here today. So, I saw a lot of talented guys. They do have a good nucleus of players that are very good players. And so I'm excited to help them build on what they've already done and try to add some things to it so we can continue to build this program and move it forward. Well, let's just be honest about it. What it takes is great players, okay? It takes great players. And I think some of the best teams that have donned these jerseys at Boston College, they did a great job of evaluating players, all right? You got two ways you can look at this. Obviously, we got to go recruit and find players and go beat some people head-to-head. But I think this is an evaluator's job. I think there's guys that you got to find diamonds in the rough. You got to find guys with a chip on their shoulder. And that's what we got to do. I mean, we got to be able to go out and evaluate and find players that can be successful here. And all my career, any place I've coached at, that's been our formula. Try to go evaluate and try to skill develop. And then every now and again, you got to get very lucky and get a high-level player that's coming in the door, with a lot of accolades. But most times, if you think about the history of this program, I mentioned the chippiness of it. Those coaches you mentioned who had the most success would be O'Brien and O'Donohue. And even the last two coaches who were here, they did a great job. All of those coaches give me this foundation to build upon. But I think the biggest thing is the ability to evaluate guys that can play at this level, and then you got to develop them. Yeah, the staff is the most important thing, and so we gotta make sure. Three things I'll say. Number one, with the staff, what I'm looking for integrity, I'm looking for character, and I'm looking for work ethic. Okay, I played Division II basketball, so nothing, and we worked our way up to the ACC. So nothing was given, nothing was handed out, no shortcuts. All right, and you do things the right way. So I'm looking for that first. Guys that no job is too big or too little. Are you willing to roll your sleeves up and work? Okay, you willing to sweat? You willing to be honest? all right, you're willing to work hard. So that's number one. So I'm going to try to identify guys that have those qualities, but also I need those guys to be able to be professionals about their ability to coach, to deal with people in the community, and then most importantly, really to recruit and evaluate. So I have unbelievable candidates for my staff. I think it's important that we embrace our region, all right? We're not in South Carolina. We're in Boston, okay? All right, so in New England prep schools and all of the areas around here, over to New York and New Jersey and Philadelphia and even in the Boston community, I mean, we got to do a great job of evaluating and building relationships here so people can trust us that if their player comes to this institution, we're going to make them a better man, all right, and we're going to help him chase his dreams, okay, whatever those dreams may be. It might be one might want to go to law school. He might want to be a doctor. He might want to make it to the NBA. He might just say, hey, Coach, I want to get back to the NCAA. So number one is building relationships near us where people can trust that if their kid come here, they're going to grow and develop, and they're going to really be happy about the young man that they see as he grow over the years in this program here. But we got to embrace the ACC territory. You know, a lot of my career, I've recruited the ACC territory. Some of the great players that played at this program haven't been from this region. You know, they've done a great job in North Carolina over the years. They've done a great job in the DMV. They've done a great job West Coast. So I think we got to cast a big net. All right, we got to understand what we look for, figure out what we need first. Figure out what we need, cast a big net, and then find the guys who can help us win. Well, you know, once I got the offer, it was bittersweet. Just because, you know, you spend so much time building a program, you develop so many relationships with players and families and board of trustees and donors. You know, you just build so many relationships that it's hard to just turn your back on somebody and leave. But for my family, we felt like this was our next assignment. All right, we felt like this was our next job and journey that we need to, you know, be excited about hopping on. Before Pat Kraft called me, 2 days before I talked to Pat, my wife said, you ought to take a look at the Boston College job. That job is open. You ought to take a look at that job. So, you know, when we got the call, we felt like, hey, you know, maybe I've never applied for a job, you know, in 21 years. I never applied for a job. So some things are meant to be, and I feel like this is my next assignment. And so I'm very excited about the challenges, all right, and the opportunity. Anytime there's a challenge, there's a great opportunity. There's a reward. If there's a challenge, there's a great opportunity, and there's a reward. So I'm more excited about the opportunity than I am the challenge. But it wasn't extremely tough because my wife had mentioned it, and we talked about. We felt like year 7 at the College of Charleston. We started saying, you know, I think something's going on. This year, something might happen. So we started preparing ourselves. And there were other opportunities that came up over the last 3 years. But in my conversation with Pat and Father Leahy and all the people I met in the process, I thought there was some alignment for me and my family to make this move and come to Boston and build this program back. No, you know, it really hadn't hit me. I hadn't even had the chance to reflect on what we did at College of Charleston. I think when you're working and you just kind of waking up every day trying to improve something, you don't have a chance to reflect a lot. You know, so for me, I'm humbled. I'm very excited. You know, I'm thankful that out of all the people that they could have chosen, that they would give me this opportunity to build this program. That means a lot to me. I will never forget that, and I will, you know, work extremely hard to try to do the things we need to do to get this program back going. So, but this program is in good shape, okay? You got one of the best schools in the country to go to school in one of the best cities. You play in one of the best league. You play in the best league. This is the best league. And there's been unbelievable players come through these doors, okay? So that's a lot to be excited about, all right? That's inspiring, some of the things that have happened in this program, and so I'm excited to build upon it.
Yeah. I'm good. How you doing, Julian? Yeah, I think it was, you know, it was extremely difficult to make those. Anytime you make those decisions, no matter when they happen, they're hard, right? We're all human beings, and I had to make the decision that I thought was best for our student athletes and our program at the time. So that's just always a challenge. When it relates to the investment, we've got to be committed to winning at a high level, and the commitment's got to be from the top to the bottom. Everybody, I talk about it a lot here in this organization. We all have to be elite. We have to want it. We got to have a chip on our shoulder and go get it, go get after it. See the dream and go get it. And so what we needed, we had some deficiencies that we had to address. And I'm very blessed, and now Earl is very blessed, to have people around me, Father Leahy and the people around Father, to understand that the commitment needs to be there. We've seen it already with our football program. And so, you know, we're working towards those ends. We've got to, I'll talk, staff. We got to be able to go get the best staff possible. It's not just, this is the best man for the job. He is going to take us. I can see him cutting the nets down for us. But he will tell you this just as much as I'm not as good without Jocelyn, JM, and all the people around me, JB. So we've got to be able to get staff, keep staff, and pay them what they need to be here. We got to create consistency. We've got to invest in the things in the program, whether it's nutrition, whether it's strength and conditioning, whether it's sports medicine, and the facility is a big piece to it. And so we're committed to improving all of these facets, but it's not just one person, it's everybody. And so we are, everyone talks about the investment. That's what we're investing. Personnel is extremely important. The people are important. And so we're going to give Coach everything we can to be successful, because the fans, the students, the alums, they deserve it. And so this is why I'm excited to work with Coach, because we're going to be in that foxhole together, and we're going to keep moving the needle, keep moving the ball. So yeah, Julian, we're committed, and we've already made some adjustments and changes already. And now with Coach to put his, we'll work hand in hand to make sure he has what he needs.
Thank you. Yeah, I think at Clemson, one of the things I learned that when I came from Wichita State, when I went there, staff is so important. I think it starts with your staff. You got to find the right guys for your region that can do the job that needs to be done. So I think this level, the recruitment and the evaluating is probably the most critical piece, because every time you play a game, it's going to be 2 or 3 NBA guys on the floor that you're competing against. So I think that's number one. But, Clemson was an evaluator's job. We had to really work hard to identify some guys that were talented enough to play for us. We had ACC, all first ACC guys, first team all conference. KJ McDaniel was defensive player of the year, first team all conference. Jerron Blossomgame was first team all conference. Those guys were a product of evaluating. They were underappreciated. They had a chip on their shoulder. And so I think we got to use that formula here. There's a lot of kids that would love to play at Boston College, okay? Love to play at Boston College. And so I think we just got to identify who those guys are, and we just got to make sure they have the toughness and grit and the competitive spirit to help us compete in this conference. And so I'm excited about, being able to go out and start building some relationships, with some of the guys that can do that. And I think, in a matter of time, we'll have, people in Conte Forum excited about the type of spirit we're putting out on the floor. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have a Red Sox cap. I've been heard I've been told I need to get one, and so I don't think it'll take too long before. I like the Red Sox and I like the Celtics, but I don't think it'll take too long before, I really start rooting for these Red Sox. I'm excited about that. So yeah, but College of Charleston, that's a great program. I don't want to do anything to hurt their program. Right now I'm focused on our current roster. I'm focused on the BC guys right now, okay? I'm sure the College of Charleston guys will call me, and I'll try to help them through the process and some things, but I want them to do what's best for the College of Charleston. So for me, my focus is on the BC players to try to help them understand, what just happened, because they didn't choose me. I chose them, okay? I chose them. I wanted to be there because I think this is a special place. So my job right now is just to focus on that, and then at the same time try to help the College of Charleston transition, and do all I can to protect them. So, but right now, no, that's not something I'm considering. I just want that Matt Roberts and our president, Alan Shaw at College of Charleston, I just hope that they can continue to keep that program moving in the right direction, and my focus is in Boston right now. So that's a good question, though. Yes, sir. How you doing, bro? Right. Well, I'll answer the first part. You said 2009, so that's 12 years. You know, the last time I took over as a head coach, the program hadn't been in 20 years. And so, we wanted to get them back to that rightful place. We were able to do it. So when you ask how do we do it, it all returns back to the players. And so I think we did it for two reasons. Number one, we were able to identify the right people. We didn't make mistakes in the recruiting process. All right, we got the right guys, okay? And when I say right guys, they were talented, but they had some character too. Meaning, we didn't win right away. We went through some hard times. So I expect us here at Boston College that the initial part of this, I can't just imagine we're going to snap a finger and everything just going to be okay. All right, so we got to find some guys, some talented guys. We got to take the players that we have now, and we got to fall in love with the process of becoming great. The first part of that is get in the gym and just start sweating and start thinking about where we can go, okay? All right, talking about where we can go. And I got to figure out who wants to be here, because in order to climb yourself up a hill, you got to make sure you got a group of committed people. Once we figure out the group of committed people, then we can start climbing the hill. So the first part of it is get a committed group together, okay? Have the meetings with the current roster. I know those guys have been through a lot. I mean, this was a tough year for everybody with COVID and everything. They lost their coach towards the end of the season. That's hard. Can you imagine? I got 3 sons. You know how hard that would be? So I would imagine those guys, their hearts and minds probably was out of Boston a month ago. All right? That makes sense. I get it. Okay? But I just want to let them know that anything's possible for them here. And I'm here for them. They didn't choose me. So that's number one. I think that's the most important piece. Find out who want to be here, find out the commitment level, and then we got to put the work in. I would imagine we got to recruit 2 or 3 guys here in the spring, 3 or 4 guys to add to our roster. Who knows what that number may be. But it doesn't matter what that number may be. We got to do the work. This is day one for me, okay? All right? It's going to take day after day, multiple days of good hard work to get to where we're trying to go. All right, so I'm excited about that. This is the first part of the journey. We're gonna get a committed group together, and we're gonna believe in each other. All right, the number one rule of our program gonna be speak the truth and find a way to trust each other, and then we just gonna work to get to where we're trying to go. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be in phases, but the first thing is to be able to go out in that arena and compete at a high level. But that's gonna take day after day of us putting the work in. Yeah, you know, it's unbelievable, man, because I remember that staff, Pat Duquette, Bill Cone, and Ed Cooley. You know, when I was a young assistant, I remember that staff. And I've been in the gym with Al Skinner and Pat Duquette in Florida, you know, recruiting a certain player. You know, Reggie Jackson visited Wichita when I was at Wichita unofficially. He may not remember it, all right, because he just did an unofficial visit. But he visited Wichita from Colorado. So, you know, Al Skinner did a great job. I mean, but he evaluated. And Al Skinner, we talked a good bit, not about Boston College per se. He's been a kind of a mentor to me in the last 2 or 3 years because he lived in Charleston. He comes to practice. He comes to games. He and his wife, we talk 3 or 4 times a month. So I've heard, it's amazing how things line up. I've heard over the last 2 years how much he loved Boston and Boston College and how special the program is. But he didn't find out I was getting the job until I got the job. So he was a little disappointed that I kept a secret from him. You know, when the job popped, he called me and said, what the heck's going on? And so, but yeah, we've been talking 3 or 4 times, man, and just, it's amazing how stuff works. You know, he really loved the opportunity of what this program can be. And he's very excited for me and the staff maybe I can put together. So I'll probably use Al. I'll probably use Al as a consultant because he did a great job here. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.